Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video is going to be all about the new Huda Beauty Rose Gold revamped palette. I do have the old one here and we have the new one, and we're gonna see what's different, if this one's better, if I like this one more. Honestly, I didn't even notice this was discontinued for a while until people had told me in one of my recent videos. The very first video I did with this, I think it was my Instagram hyped makeup look that got a lot of views. I got a lot of like backlash for not loving this palette, not loving the texture of these, having to use my finger. I just wasn't a big fan of. I never was. And then I started using my fingers more because I wanted to use the shadows because they're pretty, and then now she's revamped it. So I'm very interested to see how this palette performs, if it's the same as this one, but it's supposed to be 10 times better. Like the mattes are supposed to be better, the shimmers, all of that. The packaging's different. It has a mirror. There's just a lot of different things going on with this palette. I'm going to talk about all that today because I asked you guys on Instagram if you wanted a comparison video, and y'all were like, yes. That is what we're here for. I'm bringing it to you today. I'm actually filming right now. Well, filming today, the day that you are seeing this, and I'm putting it up because I'm very interested in this palette. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe before you leave and hit that post notification bell so you are notified every single time I upload a video. I try to upload it 3 times a week, at least 2 to 3 a week. So yeah, also let me know down below what videos you guys want to see next because I am pre-filming some videos. I'm going to be going out of town very soon. You can follow me on my vlog channel to see what I'm up to while I'm gone, but I do want to pre-film for you guys. I have a favorites video that's going to go up, makeup tutorial, first impressions. So yeah, just let me know what you guys want to see down below. I'm thinking of also doing a spring haul and like a morning routine or something. I got a lot to film in a short amount of time, so definitely interested to hear your thoughts. So if you want to see what I think about this new revamped Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette, then let's just go ahead and get started. Let me put my hair up first because I got a new bandana. It's green. First rose gold palette that I ever got, I did purchase myself from Sephora, and I purchased it because it was super hyped up on Instagram. I needed it for a video. I didn't buy it just because I absolutely had to have it. I definitely bought it for the video. Even though it is a beautiful palette, and it's become one of my favorites throughout my time here on YouTube because I think that video was like a year old. Maybe 2 years, I don't know. But I will say a few months, like before the end of last year, I did get put on the PR list, which I'm super grateful for because I do love a lot of her products. And being on PR list is great because I can just try a bunch of different things for you guys and see what works and what doesn't work. Even like products that I wouldn't normally buy, like if it just doesn't draw my interest, then I could still try them out and let you guys know what I think. Because sometimes they'll work and sometimes they don't. So this is what the two look like. Of course, this is the original rose gold palette. It had the clear front, which I have to say I did not mind the clear front. I do like seeing all the colors. I felt like it was easy to pick through. I also loved this on the end too because I store my palettes like this in my drawer, so I could see what they were on top. Take a good look at these shimmer shadows, and they look completely different in here. So this is the new revamped one right here, and I'm going to just open this up. It's completely different packaging than this other one. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. If you follow Trend Mood, you've probably seen it. This is what it looks like. I think she looks absolutely gorgeous. I really love the detail in her packaging because like her highlighters and stuff, like you get that glow on them, and it's just super cool. I think it's very unique. So again, this is the newer package with Huda on the front, and then you still have the rose gold remastered here on top. You get this sleeve in here, which is super pretty as well. And then in this palette, you get a mirror, and then these are the shades again. So I'm going to hold them up side by side so you guys can see what it looks like. They are a little bit different, actually quite a bit different. You don't get as many mattes in this new palette. You see the old and the new. She took out 1 matte, 2 mattes. So she took out 2 mattes. Yeah, she definitely, okay, so the bottom row is pretty much all the same. The second row, you still have like that hot pink in there, a little bit of a mauve shade. The mauve shade's a little bit more pink now, and then the darker tone in this palette is definitely more purple in this one. And then she took out like this matte shade, which kind of sucks because I did like having that in this palette. And this one looks like this shade, and she changed up a couple shades in that, and so you can see there is subtle differences. Again, this is a remastered palette. It's not identical, so I'm going to try to use shades that are pretty much the same in both palettes, and we'll see what the difference is and how they perform. This one is discontinued, by the way. You, I believe, cannot get this. You can get like dupes of it, but not the exact palette. I wish I could remember how much it was, but I cannot remember at all. I could have sworn it maybe like $48. And I looked at some comments on certain pages, and like I feel like the They're very back and forth. Some people are pissed, some people aren't because they spent money on it and then they decided to redo it. Like I said, I did purchase the first one and spent my money on that, and I ended up enjoying it. Hey, if you want to be better, be better. You know what I'm saying? Like, change what you want to change. Because she has her name on it. So it officially hits shelves on May 22nd. I'm not seeing a price anywhere. Sorry about that, guys. Once I figure out the information, I will definitely put it in the video. It's 18 eyeshadows, 4 ready-to-layer textures, 8 buttery mattes, 8 melted metals, 1 wet and dry jet black. Oh, wet and dry jet black. And 1 highlighting pressed pearl. It says the newly formulated metallic shadows are so blinding, which makes it every Instagrammer's dream come true. The creamy molten formula allows you to apply it easily with a brush. Or with your finger as a final touch for a more amplified finish. The black truffle shadow can be used for a wet, sharp wing liner or dry for an intense, smoky look. Moon Dust, pretty, is the ultimate highlighting shade for the lids, inner corner of the eye, or on the cheekbones for an extra glow. We are totally trying that out today. It says this transformed palette features blah 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 18 talc-free eyeshadows with smoother textures, redesigned shades for a softer color harmony, and the most insane metal fondant on your lids. Okay, so we're just gonna get right into it. I'm gonna use a primer because I always use primer for eyeshadows. I never not use a primer. And I'm going to apply this all over my lid. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Eyeshadow Primer. So like I said, I'm going to try to keep most of the colors similar just so we can see what's different, if it's better. Even though you can't buy the old palette, I think if you have the old palette, it's good to see what is different and if you should buy this remastered palette. I think it's really helpful. So that's what we're doing. Let's get into this because I'm talking way too damn much. So on this side, I'll do the old. This one, I'll do the new. So for the old, I am going to take this shade right here. This is the shade Bay. You can see how pigmented that is. I'm going to set my entire lid with that. And then for the other eye, I'm actually just going to take a powder. So I'm going to use the Marc Jacobs powder that I've been using recently. It's the Perfecting Coconut Setting Powder. And I'm going to set the other lid since we don't have anything to really set with in this new palette. Usually if I have nothing to set the lid with, I'll just use a powder because I don't like having a sticky base when I go in with eyeshadows. Alright, now we're going to go in with transition shades. In the old palette, I will be taking Sandalwood, and I'm just going to use a fluffy crease brush. So I am going to clean my brush in between each dip with the palettes because I have this dry brush spray, so I can do that. But taking clean brush, going in with Sandalwood, fluff this into the crease. I really should have just brought out more eyeshadow brushes for this, but you know, here we are. It's really not bad. It's just an easy transition color. So I'm going to clean my brush again, and I'm going to go in with Sandalwood again, which is in this new palette. It's the same exact name, looks like the same exact shade. I'm going to take my clean brush with that color. Definitely has more fallout. Just FYI, I don't know if you guys can see the powder on this one. And we're going to put that into the crease. I'm so interested to hear your opinions on this palette. You guys let me know down below in the comments what you think about this remastered palette. Like, are you mad that she came out with it again? Or because you purchased the last one? Or are you totally okay with it because she's probably a perfectionist like the rest of us? Okay, so there's the new, there's the old. I do think it looks a little bit softer, blended a little bit easier if you guys can see. Next up, I'm going to take this shade. This is in the shade Henna, and again, very pigmented. I have a dog hair on mine. And I'm going to put this into the crease. Just using a MAC 217. I love my MAC blending brushes. I use them constantly. I've had them for years and I just can't get over them, so I love my MAC brushes. So we're going to build it up right here in the outer V and then take the rest of it into the crease. So that's what Henna looks like on this eye. And then I'm going to clean my brush again. And I'm going to take the same shade Henna in the new palette that's right by Sandalwood. This one right here. So we're really going to work this out. I definitely feel like this side is blending better than this side. What do you guys think so far? So see, I was able to blend this, like I went into this palette once to pick up color and I blended it all here into the crease, all throughout the lid, and you can see how different it's blending. I promise I did the exact same thing on this side. So it definitely is blending better in my opinion. Like I feel like the amount of shadow you have on your brush goes farther than the old one. Okay, so I'm gonna take this brush right here and I'm gonna go in with Maneater, and it's the same in the other palette as well. And I'm going to toss this like in the crease, like right in the middle, just for a nice pop of color. Right there. So I'm taking it right here in the center and just kind of going back and forth. I'm letting the brush follow that socket and we're just lightly blending this out. So again, just like plop it in here and go back and forth. Next up, we're going to be taking like the hot pink shade in these palettes. This one is This one in the old palette is named Flamingo, and it's Doll Face in the new palette. But Flamingo does look a tiny bit lighter, like a more pink swoon kind of look. And Doll Face is a little bit darker, but just FYI. Gonna take Flamingo in the old palette, and I'm gonna put this one right here up front, in the front of the eye look. Just to add some lighter pink in there. And don't worry, we will clean this up. I just kind of want to add different colors in here and see how it looks. Hopefully it'll look good by the end of this video. We will find out. So again, just take that right in there. And blend back. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take two MAC 217 brushes. I'm going to clean these off and we're going to use them one for one palette, one for the other. So I'm going back into Sandalwood with my MAC 217 and we're just going to touch up this outer half and make sure it's all nice and blended. So I'm being super light with this. I just want it to look nice and faded, no harsh lines, you know. Then I'm going to take the other brush and take Sandalwood in this palette and do the same exact thing. So again, we're just extending that out and blending these edges. God, in my opinion, this eye looks better. I don't know, what do you guys think? Also gonna go in with Henna and touch up this outer V area. And just deepen it up. And I'm going to do the same exact thing with the other brush and the other palette. So we're going to go in with Henna. Deepen that up. Take this little Wet n Wild pencil brush, clean it off, and we're going to go into the black, and they're both called Black Truffle in both palettes, so of course we're going to take this one, which looks pretty black to me. And we're just going to create a nice deep outer V here. So we're going to kind of follow the shape of the V, go up into the crease, and then kind of drag it out. We're going to take it. Ooh, this looks super black. Very pigmented. This one is definitely more pigmented and more black. I'm using a pretty stiff brush. This one does look a little bit patchy over here. Now what we're gonna do is clean a brush and we're going to just blend that out. I'm not gonna put any extra product on the brush right now. I'm just gonna go in with a clean one. I'm for real going in for y'all. Like, I'm cleaning these brushes every single time. Okay, now that actually kind of dusted away. I never noticed that. You guys see? It's like a light hint of black, and there's really not much on my brush. I've never noticed that about that palette. All right, we'll do the same for this eye. Okay. This one definitely has more product on the brush than the other eye did. I don't know, I feel like they're kind of blending the same. I'm gonna go in again with a clean blending brush, and I'm gonna take henna. We're gonna blend out the edges of the black. So we're just gonna try to make it look a little bit better, because I probably just effed it all up with this black. I feel like more than anything, I kind of had to just cover it up with henna and really put a lot of that eyeshadow down to make it look blended, but it's definitely not blended. Maybe next time I'll have to use it with a fluffy blending brush instead of that stiff Wet n Wild brush. Let's move on to the fold eyeshadows. I want to see what they look like. So I am going to put some concealer down because that's what I like to do for really intense eyeshadows like this. We're going to carve out our lid. So I will be using the MAC 242 to apply concealer and apply the fold eyeshadow. So first we will take the concealer. I don't want to go too much over that pink because I do want it to show through, you know? Okay, so just like that. And then I'm going to show you guys what it looks like whenever you use your brush first with the fold eyeshadow. Ooh, that got really southern. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like first when you use the brush with the fold eyeshadows, and then when you use your finger. Trust Fund is what I'm going to use. So in this palette, it's this one right here. I'm going to use the brush first. I know you're not supposed to use the brush with these eyeshadows, but we're going to see. We're going to see today what the difference is, you know? So we're just going in with the brush first. I'm digging my brush in here, and that's what I'm getting. Pretty much nothing. Now I'm going to take my finger. Looks like that. Much better, right? That was the thing with this palette. You had to use your finger. The only thing, like, I will use my finger for my palettes, but the only thing that I just don't like is I like to be very precise, I guess you could say. And like when it starts getting up here above where I carved out my lid, that's when I'm like, ugh, I can't fix it with the brush because literally no product gets on this brush. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard to really touch it up and make it look clean. That's that. I'm going to clean my brush now, and we're going to carve out this other eye. And then now we're going to go straight into Trust Fund in this palette. So this is what Trust Fund looks like in this palette, and then Trust Fund in this one. So you can see the difference between this guy and how much smoother this one looks. So that's the new, that's the old. Come on, bring it home. Damn it. Oh, geez Louise. Okay, it's said with the brush, right? Oh, Jesus. It looks the same as the other palette. I'm using my brush. I'm swirling a lot into this one. Now I'm going to use my finger. I don't like that my brush didn't pick up a lot of product with that. Normally I don't have a problem going in with concealer and then going straight in with the eyeshadow. That's normally what I do because before the concealer dries, I like to go ahead and put that eyeshadow on so it sticks to it and it's really nice and pigmented. I think they're the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup, and I'm going to apply just a line on my top lash line. Just go ahead and get a good look at what it looks like right now. I got to clean this up but this is what it looks like so far. See you guys in just a second. Okay guys, so I just finished up my face and I did my lashes as well. I did add a little bit of highlighter because I got a little crazy because I was trying out this new Smashbox kit that I got. This makes me look super bronzed and I'm loving it. And the foundation I have on today is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. I have the shade 310 on. It is a little light for me without bronzer, but once I put bronzer on and everything, it's fine. It works out. So yeah, I have the shade 300 in for when I'm not as self-tan, and then I have 310 for when I have a tan going. So I love this foundation. It looks really good. Heart-shaped tape KKW mixed on my under eyes. What we're going to do is move back onto eyes. I'm going to go in with black truffle, and I'm going to push this up against that lower lash line. Okay. And then again, we're going to spray the brush. This Huda Beauty foundation, honestly, like, everything has been looking so flawless on my skin. I've been loving it. And then I'm going to take my pencil brush. Then I'm going to take the Sandalwood shade. And we're going to blend that out. I have to say, I do really like the fact that the new palette comes with a mirror. For times like this when I want to be like right up in my eye. Okay, there is also a moon dust in the old palette, so we're going to use this to highlight the inner corner and underneath the brow. It's pretty, but it's nothing like too intense, you know what I mean? Okay, in the inner corner, that looks good. So again, we're taking moon dust right here. Like with my finger. Okay, there's something different. That moon dust shade is like, this would apply with a brush amazingly. It really would, because just the texture of it is a little bit different than the other ones. I don't know what it is. I'm excited for this. Okay, this does have, it's pretty chunky. I don't know if you guys can see like the chunks on the brush. It's definitely there though. So I'm going to very carefully put this in the inner corner. It is kind of chunky. Wow, that's an inner corner highlight right there. It is different than the one in the original too. This one's more of like a pink. This one's definitely more gold, so this one is a bit more brighter. See what it looks like underneath this brow. Wow. Ooh, that is pretty. Like, this eye is pretty, but this eye is like super pretty. I'm going to apply this shade to my face, right? Because she says you can. Yeah, so you can use moon dust to highlight your face, and that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take my Anastasia highlighting brush that I always use. I'm just going to put this like right in the center of my cheek because it's super pigmented. I feel like it would accentuate my pores, but that's really pretty. This actually took just a tiny bit down. Okay, this is like the Smashbox highlighter. I did dust off quite a bit of it because I knew I put it on and I was like, oh, you idiot. That's intense. That is really pretty. Wow, I am full glam today, honey. We ain't playing no games. See, it does have quite a bit of fallout. Let me just show you guys. That's moon dust right there. That's it on the brush. I love this as like a center of your highlight. I would call it like a popper. Like, this pops your highlight, seriously. I will say, I feel like you would go through this in no time if you use it as a face highlighter and an eyeshadow. And you know what? I thought it would really accentuate texture, but it's really not bad at all. Like, wow. Wow. Okay. If you're like me and you like to highlight your brow bone with colors like this in your inner corner and you like to kind of match your brow bone highlight to your face highlight, you're definitely going to go through it, in my opinion, because it's such a soft shadow. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just what I'm thinking so far. Babe. Yeah. Will you come here for a second? Which eye do you like better makeup-wise? Like, what eye looks better to you makeup-wise? I used two palettes that are the same. Well, they're not the same. One's the remastered, one's the old one. I used one on one eye, one on the other.
Honestly, they look the exact same.
They look the same?
Let me look real close.
Look in the light.
Mm-hmm. They look the exact same.
They look the same? I do too. I think so. I like this eye a little bit more. I feel like the matte's blended out better on the outer corners.
Yeah, I agree. On this left side, it's a little darker farther in.
Well, I can't see because of my lashes, but...
If I had to pick one, it'd be the right one.
This one?
Your right eye.
This one?
Yeah.
I agree. I like my right eye better too. Okay, just wanted an opinion. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
This is the final look. I want you guys to let me know what you think. Which side do you like better? Do you like my right side better, which is your left, or do you like my left side, which is your right? Let me know what you're thinking. I definitely like this eye more. I like the highlight shades better. I do feel like the shade Trust Fund pretty much worked the same. You couldn't really use it with a brush, in my opinion, at least with that shade. I don't know. I was super excited to see if Trust Fund applied well with a brush. That was like what I was most excited for, especially the mattes too. But I definitely think it's the same. I don't know if I could tell you to buy the Remastered palette. If you already have this one, I think just go with your gut. If you want to have the newer formulas and have the mattes blend out a little bit better, if you use it all the time, I would definitely get this palette. But if you don't really use this palette much, it's not your favorite, you could probably pass on it. You know, it's definitely going to be up to you. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and me going back and forth. I cleaned my brushes a lot today. Yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Time can never be your trusted friend or your sworn ally. No, it's the harshest mistress of all.